So, good afternoon, everybody. Okay, so we are dealing with the resources of India. Now we'll move on to the next resource, that is the mineral and energy resources. So, when we talk about the minerals, what do we mean by the word mineral? What do you mean by the word mineral? We use different things as a mineral. Okay, what do we mean by the word mineral? We use iron, steel, okay, coal, petroleum. These are all minerals, fine. But what is the exact meaning of the word mineral? Anyone? Okay, मिनरल का मतलब क्या है? बेसिक थिंग, मिनरल ही क्या है? यस, we can't say that. We do not get any form of energy from iron ore, okay, or steel. Some minerals do provide energy, some minerals. See, every rock that we see around us, okay, a rock is a composition of various substances and elements. Okay, so these different rocks they contain certain minerals, certain important minerals. So these minerals are homogeneous substances. Okay, naturally occurring homogeneous substances. When I'm using the term homogeneous, okay, means one specific mineral, let's say iron, in that rock there are different particles of iron present. Okay, in one rock there are different particles of iron present. So a mineral is a homogeneous naturally occurring substance in different rocks. Okay, in different rocks, fine. So these minerals, we are not just utilizing these minerals for our external purposes, but even our body requires certain minerals. Okay, but our body, these minerals are utilized in very limited amount. For our body, we require very limited amount of minerals. Okay, but these minerals help in extracting energy, absorption of energy, and absorption of water and other nutrients. So if you're talking about our body hardly requires only 3% of the overall minerals. Okay, but the other 97% of the energy that our body receives, it is because of these minerals. These minerals helps in, for example, let's say absorption of phosphorus mineral helps in absorption of water in our body. Okay, so because of that, then there are different kinds of minerals. For example, fluoride is a mineral which is used to reduce cavities in within our teeth, fine. So minerals have a quite lot of significance, not just from the industrial purposes, but also from our own internal organs. Okay, so this is about the minerals. If you talk about the exact definition of minerals, they are homogeneous, naturally occurring substances with a definite internal structure. Okay, now what do you mean by internal structure? Internal structure means the atoms within the minerals, they are organized in specific shapes. ठीक है, दिस इज ऑल फिजिक्स. ज़्यादा फिजिक्स में मत जाना, बस इतना याद रखना. ओके, दे हैव अ डेफिनाइट internal structure. For example, if you look at this diagram, okay, this is a mineral halite pyrite. It has a cube like, the atoms are arranged in a cubical format. If you are talking about fluoride and diamond, the atoms are organized in an octahedron shape. Okay, there are different atoms present at different position and they are arranged in an octahedron shape. So this is about the internal structure of mineral. So they are homogeneous, naturally occurring substances with definite internal structure. Right? So this is the definition of the minerals. Then the minerals, they are found in, we find different varieties of minerals. Some minerals are very hard, some are quite soft. Okay, some are quite soft in range. For example, the hardest mineral known till date is the diamond. Okay, It is very, very hard. And the softest we have is the talc, that is calcium carbonate, powder of calcium carbonate. Fine. So this is about the mineral. This is about the significance of minerals. The industrial purposes, we all know the industrial purposes, okay, for manufacture of, you can say, iron, steel, then other, you can say, manufacture of manufacturing goods, for example, cars, okay, then washing machines, everything, even this computers and everything. So all at all places we have minerals present. Okay, all these minerals, they are extracted from different types of rocks. Okay, they are extracted from different types of rocks. These rocks, there are different types of rocks like igneous rocks, metamorphic rocks, okay, and sedimentary rocks. All these rocks which appear on the surface of the earth, all these rocks that appear on the surface of the earth, they usually come from within the earth surface. There's one diagram, I'm not able to get it, let me just check. हाँ, गूगल करूँ? नहीं यार, गूगल पे वो ढूंढने में थोड़ा ज़माना लग जाएगा। देखा था। एनीवेज, I'm not able to get the diagram. Fine. In the interior of the earth, okay, if you're talking about the interior of the earth, let's say this is the part of the earth. At the topmost layer, we have the lithosphere. Okay, we have the lithosphere. Then below that, we have a pyroclastic layer called as the asthenosphere. It is in molten state. Okay, called as the asthenosphere. Now, because of various tectonic activities, there are this magma. It rises on the surface of the earth. How it actually rises, we'll learn in the interior of the earth. Fine. It rises on the surface of the earth, and since it rises on the surface of the earth through various fractures present in it, it rises and it cools. This magma, it rises on the surface of the earth and it cools. So igneous rocks are formed. Fine. Because of this, the igneous rocks are formed, and there are minute minerals present in these rocks. So when these rocks, they cool down as they reach the surface of the earth, the mineral particle, because of density differentiation means different particles present in the rocks, they have different densities. Okay, so the lighter particles, they will rise on the surface of the earth and they will get segregated. Okay, they will rise on the surface of the earth and they will get segregated. For example, you you would have seen, लेट्स से देर इज अ कंटेनर फिल्ड विथ वाटर. ठीक है, इसके ऊपर अगर मैं ऑयल डाल दूं, if I pour some oil on it, will that oil float on all this? Hmm? It will float on the surface of the water because oil has lesser density than the water. Just like that, certain mineral particles, they have different densities, and as a result, when the rocks, they are cooling, okay, when they are cooling, they push the lighter particles outward, and as a result, okay, because of density differentiation, the minerals are minerals are separated out from the rocks. Okay, so from igneous and metamorphic rock, minerals may occur in the cracks, in the crevices, faults, or joints. Okay, every rock, any rock that is present, any rock, let's say this is a rock, there are n number of cracks in the rock, there are n number of faults and fractures present. So in these, because of density differentiation, what happens in these cracks and crevices, the minerals get deposited at different places. Fine. So the smaller occurrences, very small occurrences of the minerals, they are called as the veins. They are called as the veins. And larger particles, okay, larger particles, they are called as the lodes. ठीक है? अगर यहाँ पर अगर यहाँ पे ऐसे small particle होते हैं, they are called as the veins. But if there are, let's say this is the crack, and if there are larger particles, for example like coal, okay, if there are larger particles, they are called as the lodes. Fine. So in most cases they are formed when minerals in the liquid, when minerals in the liquid, molten and gaseous state. Okay, if the rock is a complete solid state, will there will be different density differentiation taking place? No, there won't be any density differentiation. But if it is in a molten liquid state, in that case, during cooling period, there will be density differentiation occurring. Okay, fine. Is there any doubt, any query over here? See, for example, here the oil, it is floating on the surface of the water because both are in the liquid state. Now let's say both are completely frozen. Now there is certain oil present over here and I suddenly freeze it. I suddenly freeze the entire liquid. If I am freezing the entire liquid, these oil particles will remain in the solid state within the ice only. And if I start providing heat and if I start melting this, slowly and steadily it will be in a liquid or molten state. And slowly and steadily this oil which is trapped within the ice, it will start coming up on the surface. Just like that, for the formation of minerals from igneous and metamorphic rocks, it is essential that they are in the liquid, molten and gaseous form. Okay, it is essential that they are in the liquid and molten state, so that the mineral particles, they are forced upward through cavities towards the earth surface. They are forced upward. They are forced upward. अगर यहाँ पे हम बात करते हैं, if it is in liquid molten state, it will be forced upward, this liquid, to rise up on the surface. Just like that, in the igneous and the metamorphic rocks, the minerals, they segregate. They cool and solidify as they rise. Just in this way, major metallic minerals are formed from igneous and metamorphic rocks. They are tin, copper, zinc, and lead. Okay, they are tin, copper, zinc, and lead. Then the second way through which is the sedimentary rocks. We have seen sediments, rivers, they carry lot of sediments. Okay, sedimentary rocks are formed because of accumulation and high pressure. Now, when a river, when a river, let's say it's flowing from its upper courses and reaching the plain areas, it is carrying lots of sediment with it. It is carrying lots of sedimentary particles with it. It is depositing all the sediments over here. And over a period of time, there will be layers of sediment. There will be layers of sediment. Initially, we have seen there is old alluvium, then there will be new alluvium. Let's say this is layer one. Over it, again, the sediments will be brought by the river, and there will be another layer formed on it. with all sediments, let's say as layer 2. So with the increase in the layers, what happens? The sediments at the bottom, they are under heavy pressure from the layers above. Pressure increase हो जाएगा यहाँ पे की layers पे. Okay, and since the pressure on the sediment increases, what happens over a period of time? They become compact. They become compact in nature, and as a result, the sedimentary layers are formed. And during the pressure that is acting on, let's say this is a very soft sedimentary rock. This is a very soft sedimentary rock, and there are like such mineral particles present in it. And if I'm applying heavy pressure on this, okay, can I say because of the different properties of these minerals other than the sediments present around, okay, these minerals, they will start to segregate, okay, they will start to segregate, and over a period of time you'll find that if their density is quite large, all the minerals will be found in a homogeneous layer present. Okay, in such way the coal mineral is formed. Okay, coal lithification process, we will study that also in detail, but for time being just understand such layers, such sedimentary layers are formed, and because of the increasing pressure of the sedimentary loads, the minerals get segregated and they are found in layers. Okay, so because of the result of successive deposition, accumulation and concentration in horizontal strata. Okay, coal and some forms of iron ore have been concentrated as a result of long period. Okay, this process, it requires lot many years, it requires hundreds and millions of years to form. For example, we all know how the coal was formed. Okay, because of the meteorite impact and the, you can say, extinction of the dinosaurs, the all the organic material which was left on the earth's surface, because of the different sediments, this layers, it went on beneath the earth's surface, and thus because of heavy heat and pressure, the coal was formed. Fine. So another group of sedimentary minerals include gypsum, potash salt, and sodium salt. These are formed as a result of evaporation, especially in arid region. Now, we have seen one type of sedimentary minerals being formed because of the high pressure, okay, because of different layers, accumulation, and concentration. One such other way is the evaporation. Okay, evaporation, these are formed as a result of evaporation in arid region. Now, what happens in arid region? Let's say this is one rock. This is a rock. Okay, it has a lot of moisture present in it. It has lot of moisture present in it, and it is little bit porous. Okay, in arid region, because of the high heat, what happens? This rock, all the moisture will be lost, and it also suffers from weathering activities because of the high heat and wind. So this is completely removed. This, it loses all the moisture because of heat and different weathering activities, and as a result, and homogeneous minerals will be left behind. Fine. As a result, and homogeneous minerals will be left behind. Homogeneous minerals in the form of sediments that will be left behind. So in that way, they are also formed because of evaporation. Then the other is the residual mass of weathered material. Residuous mass of weathered material. Let's take example of this only. So if because of the continuous weathering activities, for example, in arid region, hot winds are blowing in, hot winds are blowing on this rock. As a result, the surface of the rock, it will go on eroding. होगा? surface of the rock, it will go on eroding. होगा क्या नहीं होगा? Okay, fine. Since erosion is taking place, if weathering of this rock is taking place, as a result, after some time, if it will get reduced to a very small piece of rock, it will get reduced to a very small piece of rock which will be little bit homogeneous in character. Okay, similar रहेगा completely exactly इसके जो elements रहेंगे, it will be exactly similar, and thus a, a single mineral will be left. Okay, a single mineral will be left, and all the other impurities will be removed from this rock. Okay, it is because of the residual mass of weathered material containing ore. In this way, bauxite is formed. Okay, in this manner, bauxite is formed by residual mass weathered material. Fine. Then there are other as well. There are other ways. Certain minerals may occur as alluvial deposits. Just now we have seen sedimentary rocks being formed because of layering. Then these rivers, they are also carrying lot of alluvium with them. Okay, silt sand alluvium with them, and because of that, at the you can say at the foothills of the mountains, at the foothills of the mountain, because of lot of alluvium soil brought by the rivers from the mountains, at that places also there will be deposition, and thus different types of minerals may be found. The minerals that are found formed in this manner, they are called as placer deposits. Okay, they are called as placer deposits. Sands at valley floor, okay, the base of the hill, these deposits, they are called as placer deposits. Okay, why usually we find that water is a very significant, you can say, uh, an medium for erosion activities. Erosion, corrosion, you put an iron in a water body for some few months, you'll find that it will immediately corrode, it will rust. Okay, but there are certain minerals which are present in water, okay, for a prolonged period of time, and they do not undergo any corrosion activities. Because, and such minerals are gold, silver, tin, and platinum. Okay, so placer deposits usually contain high value minerals. Gold, silver, tin, and platinum are most important among such minerals. Fine, keep this in mind. Usually, placer deposits will contain minerals which have very high value. Fine, gold, platinum, silver, they have very high value because they do not get easily corroded by the water activity. Fine. Then there are certain minerals which are found in the ocean bodies. India has got the right for exploration of polymetallic nodules in the central Indian Ocean region. Fine. The International Seabed Authority has given India rights of exploration in the central Indian Ocean region for exploration of the polymetallic nodules. International Seabed Authority. Fine. In the central Indian Ocean has given right for exploration of polymetallic nodules. Now, what are polymetallic nodules? As the term suggests, poly means many, okay? Metallic means minerals, those which are heavy and metal, okay? Metallic in nature, and nodules means they are found in such potato-like shape, okay? Potato round shapes, they are present. So poly, that means there are different minerals present in one such group of rock, you can say. Okay, there are different minerals, there are copper, tin, everything will be present at one location itself. So from one, this you can say one nodule, you will get many minerals. You will get many minerals, and India has received this right from the International Seabed Authority. for extraction. So ocean water also contain vast quantities of minerals. Fine. So keep this in mind. They are also called as manganese nodules because manganese is the major mineral present in these nodules. There are titanium as well, very small amount. There are cobalt as well, the significant amount of cobalt along with manganese. Okay. Okay. Any doubts, any queries up till here? Okay. So this is how the different minerals are formed because of the five different processes. Because of the five different processes. First is because of the igneous and metamorphic rocks, because of density differentiation. Second is the sedimentary rock, formation of layers, accumulation, concentration, formation of layers. Then third is the weathering activities, mass weathering activities. Then fourth, we have the alluvial deposits. They are also called as placer deposits. And fifth is the minerals that are found along the ocean floors. Right? So, पांच ये याद रखना. Then there is this important thing, rat hole mining. Rat hole mining, it is carried in Meghalaya. Okay, rat hole mining is means the area, the space. Okay, if you have seen any mine, usually at many places there are open cast mining going on. Open cast mining means the entire land surface is excavated. Fine, but at certain places there are caves, there are mines. Okay, there are underground mines that are present. Let's say this is the earth surface. Okay, so a hole is dug, and from here the minerals are extracted. Okay, from here the minerals are extracted by the miners, right? Using different equipments and machinery, they extract, they move down, and from here they extract the minerals. But in rat hole mining, there are naturally present such caves in the mountains and in the certain specific areas. Okay, so they are very narrow. They are so narrow that at a time only one person can enter the mine, and that too he or she they have to crawl. They have to crawl, and very narrow passages are present. Very narrow passages are present. Okay, and they have to move across, and from there they are extracting the different minerals. But they are so risky that if you are entering this mine and suddenly if there is heavy rainfall taking place, immediately there will be flooding of this mine. Immediately there will be flooding of this mine, and people get stuck and they die over here. Fine. So rat hole mining, it is very risky mining. It is practiced in the northeastern state of, it is done in the northeastern state of Meghalaya. And NGT, that is the National Green Tribunal, it has put a ban on such activities. Okay, it has put a ban on rat hole mining. But since people in these areas, they lack economic opportunity. Okay, they lack income opportunity, so lot of this rat hole mining is still prevailing there in illegal form. Okay, what few rich people, what they do is they force the laborers to conduct such mining activities. They get the minerals and they sell in the market. The poor people, they are forcefully put into rat hole mining. Okay, they get some money for their living, but still it is quite difficult to stop at all the places. Fine. So there is this concept of rat hole mining given in your NCRT. Do read it, and you can Google it around for some other information as well. Then, if you're talking about the minerals, they are natural caves. Due to heavy rainfall and all, there is precipitation. As a result, the loose rock, what will happen? Suppose this is the earth surface. This is the earth surface. Fine, a loose earth surface. Lot of precipitation takes place in the Meghalaya plateau. Lot of precipitation is will take place. Let's say there is little bit of dip over here. ये जियोमॉर्फोलॉजी के पार्ट है, ठीक है. Water will get collected. Water is the best solvent. Fine. Because of this will go on dissolving, and the water will keep on penetrating. Okay. After some time, this water will also get evaporated, and these caves will be formed. And there is a large network of such caves. There is large network of such caves found in Meghalaya. Fine. Means a network of almost, you can say, 10-20 kilometers ऐसे लंबे लंबे caves है वहाँ पर. ठीक है. I don't know the exact figure, but recently there was one longest underground cave found in Meghalaya region only. Such large caves are found in Meghalaya, Indonesia, and Thailand. Fine. So you can just get this more information about it, or else while teaching geomorphology, okay, land features, landform developments, will look into it. So there is a classification. Any query? Any other queries? Okay. Then there is a classification of minerals. The minerals are classified into metallic, non-metallic, and energy minerals. The metallic minerals, they are further classified into ferrous, that means which contain iron. The minerals which contain iron, they are called as the ferrous minerals. And the non-ferrous means which do not contain the iron. So which are such ferrous minerals? They are iron ore, manganese, nickel, cobalt, etc. Fine. Then there are non-ferrous, copper, lead, tin, and bauxite. Then there are certain precious metallic minerals: gold, silver, and platinum. Gold, silver, platinum also found in placer deposits. Okay, याद रखना, placer deposits mostly gold, silver, platinum are found because they do not get easily corroded. Then there are non-metallic minerals. Okay, mica, salt, potash, and other things. Then energy minerals, from which we extract some form of energy. Okay, from which we extract some form of energy like coal, petroleum, and natural gas. Okay, so keep this classification in your mind. So let's see the first, ferrous minerals, that is which contain iron. Okay, which contain iron. So one important mineral, the first most important mineral, is the iron ore. When I'm saying the word iron ore, what do you mean by the term ore? इसका मतलब क्या होता है? Fine, exactly. So it is basically a material, okay, which contains iron as a mineral in large amount. Okay, you can say a rock, okay, a hard rock which contains iron in a large amount, that is referred to as the iron ore. Just like that, we have copper ore, okay, and so on. Okay. So iron ore is the basic mineral. It is the basic mineral, and it is considered as the backbone of any economy. Fine. If you look around yourself, means everywhere you will find iron plays a very significant role in production of any manufacturing products. Okay, iron is the basic mineral. Fine. It is used for the production of cars, everything and all. So based on that, India also has abundance of iron ore resources. India has abundance of iron ore resources. There are important there are important iron ore fields in India. If you look at the map, okay, most of the major iron ore fields in India are located in Odisha, okay, Odisha, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, and western Maharashtra. Fine. And in the southern, if you look, it is mostly located in Karnataka and little bit in Western Ghats, along the Western Ghats, along the coast of the Western Ghats. So these are the major iron ore fields in India. Then there are important iron ore mines. There are important iron ore mines like Mayurbhanj, Goa, Sundargarh, Kendujar. So major mineral mines, they are present in Odisha, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh belt. Fine. So this region of India, okay, the Chota Nagpur Plateau region, this region over here, it is also called as the Chota Nagpur belt of India. This region is quite rich. It is quite rich in minerals. Fine. Large quantity of minerals are found in this region. So keep this map in your mind. The major mineral fields, the major iron ore fields of India in in Odisha, Chhattisgarh, Odisha, Jharkhand, then in Chhattisgarh, Western Maharashtra region, then in the south, the Karnataka region, and the southern Maharashtra and Goa region. Fine. So here you will mostly find the major iron ore fields and iron ore mines in India. Then, if you talk about the iron ore is classified into two types. Okay, there is magnetite and there is hematite. Okay, on the basis of the amount of pure iron present in that ore, they are classified into magnetite and hematite. On the basis of the pure iron present in the iron ore, they are classified into hematite and magnetite. Fine. If you're talking about the magnetite, it is the finest iron ore with very high content of iron up to 70%. Okay. Magnetite, the finest iron ore with very high content up to 70%. It has excellent magnetic qualities, especially valuable in electrical industry. Then the next, if you're talking about, next is the hematite. It has the iron content varying in the range of 50 to 60%. It has iron in the range of 50 to 60%. Then if you just now we saw the map of India where the major iron ore fields are present. Major iron ore fields are present. So these select few states, Odisha, Chhattisgarh, Karnataka, and Jharkhand. These four states, only these four states, they produce 97% of the total iron of India. These four states, Odisha, Chhattisgarh, Karnataka, and Jharkhand, they produce nearly 97% of the overall iron produced in India, and the remaining production is done by the remaining states, remaining other states. So keep this in mind. This is quite important. Fine. So 97% from these four states. That means they have large amount of iron fields, iron ore fields, and iron ore mines. Right? This is about the iron ore. Fine. Then if you talk about the next important mineral, okay, there are different belts. There are different major belts of where the iron ore is extracted, and different mines are present. The one is the Odisha Jharkhand belt. One is the Odisha Jharkhand belt. Remember, recall the map, right? Keep the map right in front of your eyes. ठीक है, मैप बुक में रखो या फिर डायरेक्टली इमेजिन करो. ठीक है, ऑलवेज हैव दैट इमेजिनेटिव थिंग इन योर माइंड. ठीक है, डायरेक्ट इंडिया सामने आना चाहिए. ओडिशा कहाँ पर है, झारखंड कहाँ पर है, वो दिमाग के सामने माइंड मैप होना चाहिए. ठीक है. Odisha and Jharkhand belt, there are important mines present in in these regions. In this, there are only few select mines given. Okay, और इतने ही याद रखने हैं. ठीक है, इतने ही याद रखने हैं. You need not Google for all the mines present in those particular states. There are only select few given over in your NCRT. Even for your optional, even for your optional, you need not go for all the mines present, unless and until any particular mine which is in news for any sort of event. Let's say a mine which has completely exhausted all its mineral, or a Supreme Court has put a ban on any particular specific mine, or there is some disaster has occurred in a mine. In that case only you remember the name of that particular mine, or else यहाँ पे जितने दिए हैं वो बहुत है. Fine. There is Mayurbhanj, Kendujhar district of Odisha, and Singhbhum district of Jharkhand. Fine. So there is these different belts. ये belt के नाम याद रख लेना. Odisha Jharkhand belt. If you know the map, if you know the iron ore field map, can I say it is quite easy to know the iron ore fields? I'll again show the map. Right? Odisha, Jharkhand belt. Then other you can say Maharashtra, Chhattisgarh, Maharashtra belt. Okay. The third is the Karnataka, Andhra belt, you can say. And fourth is the Maharashtra, Karnataka, Maharashtra, Goa, Karnataka belt. You can give your own name if you're aware of the map where are the different iron ore fields present. Not necessary that you should use the same terms which are being provided over here. ठीक है, ऐसा कोई रूल नहीं है कि यही बेल्ट यूज, यही बेल्ट के नाम देने हैं. Okay? Odisha Jharkhand belt, Durg, Bastar, and Chandrapur. These are the different places in these different three states. Then we have Ballari, Chitradurg, and Chikmagalur. That is the belt in Karnataka. Then Maharashtra, Goa belt, where we find the iron ore present. Okay, so extraction of iron ore, then we are, India is also a good exporter of iron ore. India also exports lot of iron ore. So along these different belts there are important ports present. There are important ports present. For example, if you're talking about Odisha Jharkhand belt, there near, just near to it, we have the Vishakhapatnam port, which is a major port. Okay, then for this region as well. Then if you're talking about the Bellary Chitradurg Karnataka region, there is Mangaluru port that is present, which facilitates easy export of iron ore. Then if you're talking about Maharashtra, Goa, there is the port Marmagaon port that is present. Fine, it is in Goa. Then any queries with respect to iron ore? This is all static information. You just need to know in which part of India which mineral ores are present. Fine. Which mineral ores are present. Then accordingly you can analyze if iron ore is present in this region, what are the industries which use iron ore as a raw material. Then can I say in this area such type of industries will be found quite easily. So raw material is, it plays a very significant role for the manufacturing activities. Manufacturing industries will just see in a short while, but for time being just remember, just go through all these minerals, important major minerals, where they are present and which are the major regions. Okay, which are the major regions. Map bhi agar dekh loge then also it is more than enough, but for little bit of factual information you can just read all the topic ones. Then the next important is the manganese is mainly used for the manufacturing of steel. Okay, steel and ferromanganese alloys. If you're talking about the manufacturing of steel, almost 1% we require manganese. Okay, 1% is manganese required for manufacturing of steel. Then there are other uses as well: bleaching powder, insecticides, and paints. Okay, the major producers, remember the major producers of manganese. If you're talking about, the major producer is Madhya Pradesh. Fine, 33% of the manganese comes from Madhya Pradesh. Bas itni information is more than enough. On the next level, what you can do is you can simply look at the map where you'll find the manganese. इसमें है क्या देखता हूँ. Where are minerals? Metallic. Okay, a mixed map is given. If you're talking about manganese, okay, Madhya Pradesh has largest. यहाँ पे एक है. There are some mines over here, so definitely manganese might be found in these regions. Fine. So बस ऐसे कुछ कुछ important names हो गए, बस उनको याद रख लेना. Then there are non-ferrous. India's reserves with production is not that very satisfactory. But if you're talking about the metallic minerals, we have good resource of metallic minerals. But if in terms of non-ferrous, that include copper, bauxite, lead, zinc, gold. Okay, they are vital, but they are not present in that significant amount. With respect to copper, India is already not that significant producer of copper. Plus, if you have read the news, there has been this Sterlite copper plant, Tamil Nadu. Suna hai? Sterlite copper plant of Tamil Nadu. न्यूज़ में रहेगा हमेशा, ठीक है, देख लेना. दिस स्टेरलाइट कॉपर प्लांट, इट वाज ऑफ वेरी सिग्निफिकेंट इम्पॉर्टेंट इकोनॉमिक इम्पॉर्टेंस बिकॉज इट्स मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कैपेसिटी वाज, इट ऑलमोस्ट वाज मैन्युफैक्चरिंग ऑलमोस्ट 50% ऑफ द कॉपर इन इंडिया. इट वाज प्रोसेसिंग 50% of the copper resources of India. Fine. India produces somewhere around 8 lakh million metric tons of copper every year, and out of that almost 4 lakh million metric tons was processed by this Sterlite copper plant. But this processing, it has a significant environmental impacts as well. It causes lot of pollution. Okay, because of which there was lot of protest in this area, and as a result the company had to shut it down. Fine. Since a couple of years, there has been absolute no production of copper from this industry. So agar hai hi nahi, then obviously we'll have to go for imports. We'll have to go for imports, and import, if we are importing copper, all the things that we are utilizing as a copper, वो copper bottle ही है ना. ठीक है, copper bottle है. Obviously, if you would have checked the rates 5 6 years back, and if you check the rate of copper now, obviously it will be costly. Fine. So that's the thing. So we shouldn't actually directly stop any activities. There should always be some middle path. Okay, there has to be some middle path. Environmental concerns were there. Okay, we should have, the community itself, the government should have taken steps for mitigating all the environmental problems which is occurring because of that plant. Okay, because that plant, it is not just processing copper, it is a very huge plant, and it also processes a lot many chemicals and pesticides along with that. Fine. So there has to be some middle path, but unfortunately, because of the politics and a large amount of protest, ultimately that plant had to be shut down. Fine. So देख लेना. And you can also utilize this, why the contribution of mineral to Indian GDP is less. Okay, I gave you one question few days ago. So this is all environmental hazards and things that are taking place. Fine. So let's move ahead. So keep these maps. ये maps आपके map book में भी है. Okay, ensure you're reading those maps. Reading, I am saying reading, not just देखना और पन्ने पलटना. ठीक है, उसको read means you have to understand. You have to understand that these are the places where we find these type of minerals in India. And there are manganese, the Balaghat ranges and all, we find manganese in India. The next important, as I said, copper. Okay, India is critically deficient in the reserve and production of copper. okay, being malleable, ductile, and a good conductor of electricity. Okay, copper is mainly used in electrical cable and इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स एंड केमिकल इंडस्ट्रीज मैलिएबल एंड डक्टाइल फिजिक्स ठीक है पता है ना आपको ठीक the important copper mines in India are found in Madhya Pradesh, okay, Balaghat range in Madhya Pradesh. We have Khetri mines in Rajasthan, Khetri and Singhbhum district of Jharkhand are the leading producer. Then bauxite is another important mineral. Bauxite is a major source of aluminium. Okay, bauxite is a major source of aluminium. ये ध्यान में रखना. Bauxite is a major source of aluminium. That so aluminium is obtained from bauxite, and bauxite deposits are formed by the decomposition of a wide variety of rocks rich in aluminium silicates. Then it also aluminium it also has similar properties as that like of the copper, okay, but if you talk about the aluminium is quite lighter in weight. Okay, aluminium is significantly lighter in weight. रूम पर देखा होगा घर पे एल्यूमिनियम वेसल्स दे आर क्वाइट लाइट as compared to the other steel vessels that are present in your house. Okay, so if you talk about India's bauxite mines, they are also found in the Amarkantak plateau. Okay, again near and around the Chota Nagpur region, Amarkantak plateau. From Amarkantak plateau we have seen many rivers originate. Okay, one important river is the Narmada. One important river is the Narmada. Fine. Then Michael Hills, just east of the Amarkantak Plateau, we have Michael Hills and the plateau region of Bilaspur and Katni. If you're talking about the production of bauxite, okay, Odisha, Odisha is the state which produces the largest amount of bauxite. Again, from here you can remember one thing: bauxite. There is a large reserve of bauxite present in Niamgiri Hills. Okay, but Supreme Court has put a ban on mining activities in Niamgiri Hills. Okay, because of tribal rights issues and all. Okay, the Supreme Court recognized the rights of the tribals and they put a ban on mining in the Niamgiri Hills. ठीक है, so ये सब चीजें ध्यान में रखना. See, we talk about sustainable development, so we also have to ensure the rights of tribal people as well. ठीक है, ये ध्यान में रखना. There is some story with respect to aluminium, पढ़ लेना. Then, if you're talking about the non-metallic minerals, that is the one important is the mica. Okay, mica it is made up of very very thin sheets. Okay, very very thin sheets mica are present, and over a period of time, these sheets they get layered up. And mica mineral is found in the form of plate-like thin sheet. ठीक है, mica mineral is found in a series of plates like thin sheet. It is of various color. Okay, the minerals they have a significant different colors. So mica has different various colors, and it is the most important property of mica is its insulation capacity. Okay, insulation thing, that's why it is mostly used in wires. Okay, it is mostly used in wires. Okay, because of its insulating properties and resistance to high voltage. Okay, resistance to high voltage and insulating properties. The major regions where we find mica is the Chota Nagpur plateau. Okay, the Chota Nagpur plateau, Gaya Hazaribagh belt in Jharkhand. If you talk about the production, Rajasthan, the major mica producing area is around Ajmer. So, in the Andhra Pradesh and Rajasthan, largest amount of mica is found. Okay, the largest amount of mica is found in Rajasthan and Andhra Pradesh. Okay. In Andhra Pradesh, if you're talking, it is found in Nellore, and if you're talking about Rajasthan, it is found in Ajmer and Bewad. Okay, so these are the important sites where we find mica mineral. Okay, it is non-ferrous. Then the non-metallic. Then the other important mineral, if you're talking, is the rock minerals. Okay, rock minerals, limestone. It itself is a rock. Okay, it itself is a rock. Okay, limestone is found in association with rocks composed of calcium carbonates. Okay, calcium carbonate rocks, also called as the limestone. So limestone is quite significant. It is used mostly in the construction activities. It is mixed along with the cement. Okay, it is mixed along with the cement industry and essential for, it is also important for smelting iron ore in the blast furnace. Okay, for extracting iron from the iron ore, limestone is plays a significant role. Right, if you're talking about the production of limestone state-wise share, the largest is found in Rajasthan. Okay, largest is found in Rajasthan. We also have significant presence in Madhya Pradesh. Okay, um, there is one advertisement of tourism of Madhya Pradesh government. If you remember that, marble ke pahad dekho. Okay, so marble, limestone, there are rock mountains of limestone present in Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan, in and around the Chambal region. Okay, in and around the Chambal Valley region. Then usually wherever there are mines, there are always some hazards taking place. There are some or the other environmental pollution is taking place. There is air pollution. The mines, they require heavy machineries for extraction, so there is noise pollution taking place. Suppose there is a mine present, there is a mine present over here and extraction activities is taking place and lot of precipitation is also taking place. Can I say there will be groundwater pollution? If there is a groundwater over here, because of the seepage of water and along with different mineral particles, this groundwater will get polluted. Fine. So the hazards of the mine. Then after mining is done, okay, after the minerals are extracted from the ore, the waste that is remain the waste that is remaining, the dumping of the waste is also a quite crucial. So because of mines we have air pollution taking place because of the dust particles. Fine, PM 2.5, PM 10, because of the dust particles. Then we have noise pollution because of the heavy machineries that are used. Then we have water pollution because of the pollution of the groundwater. Then other hazards, what are the other hazards that might take place in mines? What are the other hazards that might take place? Fire हो सकता है, फायर हो सकता है, रूफ कोलैप्स हो सकता है, रूफ कोलैप्स. Let's say this is the earth surface and you're drilling a hole for mining the minerals that are present over here, that are minerals present over here, and you're drilling a hole. We cannot drill hole right up to the center of the earth. We'll see it later on. Okay, हम center of the hole तक center of the earth तक hole dig नहीं कर सकते. ठीक है, only up to certain level, around 8 to 10 kilometers on an average. Only up to such depth only we can drill holes because we do not have that much significant technology. Fine. Now let's say if you are extracting the mineral ore from over here, slowly and steadily we'll be moving inside. Slowly and steadily we'll be moving inside for extracting the ore. अभी यहाँ तक आ गए सारे. यहाँ से humans are extracting ore from over here. Because of heavy rainfall, because of heavy rainfall over a period of time, can I say there will be lot of water getting accumulated over here? There will be lot of water getting accumulated over here, and this surface will become quite loose, okay, because of water and suddenly there might be collapse of this roof. Okay, this roof, it might get collapsed. This is called as the roof collapse of the mine, and all the people over here, they will lose their lives. Fine. There might be flooding of mines as well because of the heavy rainfall. And so these are certain hazards with respect to mines: air pollution, environmental overall environmental pollution, and loss of biodiversity. Okay, then the next is loss to human life. Fine. So these are the hazards with respect to mines. Huh? Yes, if there is a sudden earthquake, not necessary that this roof will collapse because of the large amount of groundwater. Let's say there is a heavy earthquake and this upper portion being destabilized, since it has lost the support from over here, it might get collapsed. Okay, so tectonic activities can also shake the ground, and ultimately there will be, so there are different things: coal fire, catastrophe, safety hazards, overbuild. Then conservation of minerals. As we all know, these minerals, they are available in finite quantities. Okay, they are available in finite quantities, not infinite, but finite quantities. So proper use, sustainable use of these minerals is quite essential. Fine. The government has also taken various steps. Okay, last year the government amended one act, Mines and Minerals Development and Regulation Act. Okay, so we have a act in India for regulating the mining activities in India. Mines and Minerals Development and Regulation Act 1957. Okay, this act is quite old, but we keep on amending the act with the upcoming challenges and as per our needs. So recently it was amended into 2021, that is last year. Okay, to include certain features. It was also amended in 2015. Fine. In India, in the past 50 years, most of the mines, they were owned by the public sectors. Okay, they were owned by the public sector and they were mostly going into losses. Fine. So, and plus the government, mining industries, they also suffered the lack of technology for better extraction of the minerals. So now the government has decided to privatize all these mines. Okay, most of the mines now, government is going for privatizing, towards privatization of these mines. So what are the challenges with respect to it? What are the issues with respect to that? Okay, we will be studying it in our later lectures. Fine. But for time being, just remember that there is Mines and Minerals Development Regulation Act 1957, under which the government provides license. Okay, it regulates the mining activities in India. Plus, under it, government also takes certain steps so that the area, so that to conserve not just mines, not just minerals, but also the overall environment of the surrounding areas, as well as also the welfare of the people surrounding the mining areas. Fine. Under this act, the government has set up District Mineral Foundation Fund. डिस्ट्रिक्ट मिनरल फाउंडेशन फंड बाद में पढ़ेंगे, ठीक है, अभी टेंशन मत लेना, बस ऐसा एक एक्ट है, बस इतना ध्यान में रखना अभी, ठीक है. सो conservation of minerals is important because everything that is available, it is quite less. Fine. You people have already written an essay. ठीक है, अगर लिखा है तो ठीक है, उसमें ये एस्पेक्ट आप डाल सकते थे, ठीक है. Then, if you talk about the next, any doubts, any queries up till here? ठीक है, shall we move ahead? The next is the energy resources. Energy resources, we all need energy, electricity, electrical energy. Fine. So we need energy resources for our basic survival. Now, electricity has also become an important basic need of we humans. Fine. Initially, we used to consider food, shelter, and clothing as the basic necessity. But now, with the change of technology and everything, even electricity is a basic need. Fine. And energy, the electricity produced from the different energy sources like coal, petroleum, and natural gas, it is has become of quite significant for us. Okay, if you talk about the energy resources, they are classified into two types. One is the conventional and the other is the non-conventional. Okay, now the energy that is received from firewood, cattle dung cake, coal, petroleum, and natural gas, such are called as the conventional sources of energy. Conventional means they are easily available. Fine, easily available means they are present in large quantities, so large amount of energy can be extracted from these sources. Firewood, जंगल पूरा जला दो, ठीक है, काट के बहुत सारी एनर्जी मिल जाएगी, ठीक है. Then if you're talking about coal, petroleum, coal, lot of resources are present in India. Coal, fine. Then petroleum, we have some limited petroleum resources, but we can easily import it out. Same with the natural gas. Fine. Then if you're talking about the non-conventional energy resources, non-conventionals are solar, wind, tidal, geothermal, biogas, and atomic energy. Fine. So remember this atomic energy. Solar, wind, tidal, they are also available in quite a large amount. Okay, but extraction of energy from these, utilizing these sources as a source of energy, is little bit difficult now. And steadily with the progress of technology, okay, we are being able to extract large amount of solar energy. ठीक है, वो काफी धीरे धीरे हो रहा है, but fine. If you talk about the rural India, mostly firewood and dung cake. Okay, firewood and dung cake in rural India, mostly these two sources, they are being utilized as a source of energy. This has been a prime source of energy in India. More than 70% of the energy requirement is utilized. It's coming from firewood and cattle. People directly collect wood from the surrounding areas, then they collect cattle dung and make cattle dung cakes and utilize it, burn it for their different energy needs for cooking and everything. Cooking, keeping their houses warm. So, for all these purposes. But the government has recently launched one scheme, Ujjwala Yojana, okay, for supplying the gas cylinders. Okay, because burning firewood and cattle dung in houses, it releases lot of smoke. Okay, it causes lot of smoke, and there are high chances of lung diseases. Okay, high chances of lung cancer, lung diseases. So we should not burn firewood and cattle dung directly in our houses, but we should rather move towards the non-conventional energy sources. But non-conventional energy sources, again, there are challenges. They are in limited amount. They are present in limited amount. Fine. Plus their extraction and processing is also quite a little bit difficult. Fine. So, if we talk about the conventional sources of energy, let's discuss all them in one by one. The most important conventional source of energy is the coal. Okay, India has large reserves of coal present. There are two types of coals mostly present in India. One is the Gondwana coal. Okay, Gondwana coal means the coal which was formed during the Gondwana period and in Gondwana land region. Okay, so Gondwana period, almost 70% is this. 70% of the coal in India, it is Gondwana coal. Then the next coal type of coal, that is the tertiary, the coal that was formed during the tertiary period. Okay, coal that was formed during the tertiary period. Most of the coal that is found in India is the Gondwana coal. Fine. Then these, how coal are formed, we have seen that the decaying organic matter, for example dinosaurs which went off, then the plants, animals which they die, over a period of time they get decomposed, sediments are formed. These sediments, the layers of such sediments are formed, layers of sediments are formed, they get uh, deposited. Because of the upper layers, a large amount of pressure is occurring, taking place on those sediments, and over a period of time they get, accumulation is taking place, concentration is taking place, accumulation and concentration. Accumulation, one by one layers are formed one above the other, then concentration because of the high pressure. Okay, and in that way the decaying plants in swamp, they repeat, and this the coal is formed by the process of lithification. What is process of lithification, we'll study in detail later on. Fine. So the different types of coals that are found in India is the lignite, bituminous, and the anthracite. Okay, if you're talking about from lignite to bituminous, the quality of the coal, it goes on increasing. Okay, the quality of the coal goes on increasing. Lignite is quite a low grade coal, it has lot of impurities present in it. Okay, and when you burn the lignite coal, the energy that is received, the energy that is calculated in calorific values, okay, it is quite less, okay, as compared to that of the anthracite coal. Plus, burning lignite coal, it releases lot of impurities and pollutants. So lignite is not a that good coal. But in India, mostly we find lignite coal, bituminous, we find mostly bituminous coal, which is intermediate between two. Lignite is low grade, brown in color. Okay, it is brown in color. It is mostly found in Neyveli in Tamil Nadu. कहाँ पर मिलता है? नेवेली डिस्ट्रिक्ट ऑफ तमिलनाडु. ठीक है, याद रखना. Not given you here. Lignite. hmm? Mineral fuels इसमें है. अच्छा, we have the lignite mine, here we have the Neyveli. ठीक है, Neyveli ध्यान में रखना. So then the next type is the bituminous coal. It is in between, like between the lignite and it has properties in between that of the lignite and the anthracite. Anthracite is the highest quality hard coal in India. Anthracite is only found in the Jammu and Kashmir region. ठीक है, ये याद रखना. In India, anthracite is found only in, अगर यहाँ पे दिया है तो it is not given here, but there is this coal mine, Kalakote. Okay, so here we find only anthracite type of coal in India. ये ध्यान में रखना, आपके मैप बुक में लगा तो मार्क करके रखना, because it might not be mentioned at most of the places and we'll never know it out. So anthracite is present in very small amount in India. Okay, remember it is present only in the Jammu and Kashmir region. Fine, ये ध्यान में रखना. So if you talk about the coal as an energy resource, most of the energy, most of the coal in India, it is utilized in thermal power plants. Okay, most of the coal in India, it is utilized in thermal power plants. And if you're talking about the overall electricity generation, overall energy in India, almost 65% of the energy, it comes from the thermal power plants. Okay, it comes from the thermal power plants. So you can just imagine how significant coal is for India. Then there is an international pressure going on over India that we should decrease our carbon emissions and all. But it is not that easy. It is, we cannot do it within a period of 5 or 10 years, because we can just imagine 65% energy, it is too much. Okay, it is too much, 65% is too much. But we have taken certain steps. Okay, initially in the past, we took certain steps to reduce the emissions from these thermal power plants. For example, if you're talking about the coal that is utilized in our thermal power plants, since it comes up with lot of impurities, we used to wash those coal. We used to wash those coal and then use in the thermal power plants. Fine. So that whatever the impurities that were used to be present with them, they used to get washed out. But recently, the government has changed the rule. Looking at the energy security of India, nowadays we are directly using that particular coal. Fine. Yes. See, we are moving. We have a target. Okay, we have a target of how many gigawatts under Paris Agreement. We have made some INDC promises. Now it has been raised to 450 gigawatt from non-conventional energy sources. Initially, we promised 175 gigawatt, 100 gigawatt from solar energy. Okay, by 2022, ये साल के end तक we have promised, uh, we have made commitments that we will generate 100 gigawatt from solar energy under national solar mission by 2022. Out of this 100, 60 will be through our large solar fields, and 40 will be from solar rooftop. ओके, अपनी छतों पे लगा देना, और whatever electricity that you are generating, you sell it to the government. But हाँ, ग्रिड में वो ऐड करते हैं, ठीक है, वो थोड़ा बहुत स्मार्ट ग्रिड में वो ऐड कर देते हैं, ठीक है. People, they put large, those who have large terraces, they put up solar panels on their house, and whatever the electricity is generated, it is directly supplied to the grid. Okay, how it is actually done, ये मुझे पता नहीं है, but मैंने videos देखे हैं, ठीक है, how it is done. So it is, एक मीटर बिठाया जाता है, वॉट एवर इलेक्ट्रिसिटी दैट यू आर जनरेटिंग एंड वॉट एवर यू आर सप्लाइंग directly to that supply lines, through that meter they calculate the units, how much units of electricity that you are providing to the government, and how much you are using for your own self. तो जो भी बीच का डिफरेंस होता है, that is paid to you people. ठीक है. Yes. It is possible, ये हो रहा है अभी भी. It is possible everywhere, and it is being done all over India. But just the thing is that it is little bit costly. It is little bit costly, so not all can afford. Initially, the government did provide some subsidies, but later on the subsidies were stopped, because we, whatever the solar panels are required for all this, India manufactures very less solar panels, and most of it is imported. Yes. रॉ मटेरियल जो सिलिकॉन वेफर जो रिक्वायर्ड है, वो सारा चाइना से आता है. सो वी हैव टू इम्पोर्ट. तो अगर इम्पोर्ट की बात आती है, तो फिर वी हैव टू स्पेंड अ लॉट. ठीक है, फिजिकल डेफिसिट एंड ऑल, वो सब इश्यूज आ जाते हैं. ठीक है. सो सोलर एनर्जी, ये सब है. सो नॉन कन्वेंशनल. ठीक है. अगेन विल कम टू कोल. सो कोल इज क्वाइट सिग्निफिकेंट फॉर इंडिया. Okay, we have Gondwana type of coal, which was formed over a period of more than 200 million years ago, and we have the tertiary coal deposit, which were formed over a period of 55 million years old. Sorry. If you talk about the major coal fields, the major coal fields of India, if you see over here, it is in Neyveli in Tamil Nadu, then the Chota Nagpur belt, then the plateau region of Meghalaya and some regions of Assam. And here if you talk about the Madhya Pradesh and the Chandrapur Gondia districts of the uh, Maharashtra, and thus extending towards the Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. So these are the major coal fields. Remember the coal fields and the major coal mines in India. Major coal mines are the Bokaro, Jharia, and Raniganj. Okay, these are very large coal mines of India. From here, we have one important river that is flowing, that is the river Damodar. Okay, the river Damodar, and because of the dust particles from coming from the coal mines, the water of the Damodar river has become almost completely blackish. That's why it is also called as the coal river. Okay, coal river, black river. It is the most polluted river of the world. ठीक है, चेक कर लेना इन्फॉर्मेशन. अभी कोई दूसरी बन गई होगी तो पता मैं बोल नहीं सकता, बट मैंने पढ़ा था कब कही तो वो मुझे याद था. Okay. So coal, after coal, the next important source from of energy to India is the petroleum. Okay, petroleum reserves. If you talk about, yes. See, these coal scarcity in India took place mostly because of the payment issues by the discom companies and everything. Fine. There is lot of coal present in India, but because of some bureaucratic hurdles, there was the supply of coal was not taking place on time. Okay. In India, electricity generation is a little bit complex process because we have coal mines. Okay. Most of the mines are owned by the government. Then we have the supply chain for this mineral. Then we have the uh, power generating companies, which are completely different. Then we have the power distribution companies, which are completely different. The power distribution companies, they get their money from we people who utilize the electricity. But at certain places, for example, here 200 units are free, so the discom companies, they were in losses, they are in losses, so they are not able to pay, so they are not able to pay, so they are not able to, so it's a chain of events. So it was basically a financial issue. Okay. Okay, one person not able to pay to the other not able to pay to the third. Yesterday, day before yesterday, I went to railway station to drop my cousin. ओके, वहाँ पे दो तीन ट्रेनें बस कोयले की लगी पड़ी हुई थी. Okay. Coal available है, but the thing is that another issue with respect to coal with India, as I said, mostly low grade coal is available in India, so we have to burn a lot of amount of coal to generate enough amount of electricity. Fine. So if you're talking about coal, also keep one thing in mind. There is one issue, Adani coal mines, suna hai? Okay. In Queensland in Australia, there are Carmichael mines. Okay, Carmichael mines, which are leased to Adani. Okay. But extraction of coal from these mines, it hasn't started to that significant level, because immediately next to it there is coral reef, the Great Barrier Reef. Fine, Great Barrier Reef. If large amount of coal is extracted, obviously because of environmental degradation, the corals might die, and there are quite a lot of protest going on in those in Queensland state of Australia. Okay. And that mines, they have been in the Adani company, it has specially taken for on lease to supply coal to India, because a good quality coal is found in Australia. Right? A good quality coal is found in Australia. Then any other queries? Okay. Then the next important conventional source of energy is the petroleum. If we talk about the petroleum, India has limited resources of petroleum. On the west coast, we have the Bombay High. Okay, and recently there are certain places where these petroleum resources, petroleum along with oil and natural gas resources have been found along the Krishna Godavari basin as well. Fine, Krishna Godavari basin as well. So if you talk about the petroleum resources, India imports almost 85% of its petroleum resources. Okay, so India imports almost 85% of its petroleum resources. Fine. So moving towards the other non-conventional energy resources is quite important for India, because coal, it causes a lot of pollution and everything. Then the petroleum resources available in very less amount in India, we have to shell out lot of forex reserves for getting petrol. Fine. Then if you talk about the occurrences in India, they are associated with anticlines and fault traps. Anticlines and fault traps. Now what is anticline? ये एक जियोमॉर्फोलॉजी की टर्म है. ठीक है. uh, when under different geomorphological processes, different tectonic activities, folding and faulting take place. We often hear of Himalayas being a fold mountains. हिमालयाज एक फोल्ड माउंटेन है. ठीक है, अगर नहीं समझ में आ रहा तो बस इतना ध्यान में रखना भी, हिमालयाज आर फोल्ड माउंटेन्स. दे आर फॉर्म्ड बिकॉज ऑफ द कोलिजन ऑफ द इंडियन प्लेट एंड द यूरेशियन प्लेट. ठीक है, व्हाट हैपेंस, द ग्राउंड it gets folded in such fashion. It gets folded in such fashion. अगर if these are my okay two fist, अगर मैं मार रहा हूँ किसी को, and if I'm continuously applying the pressure, can I say at this place there will be bend? ठीक है, यहाँ पे bend हो जाएगा after a certain time. After applying lot of pressure, this will ultimately bend like this. Okay, so this bend that is formed, this is called as the sink line. This is called as the sink line, and this is called as the anticline. ठीक है, sink line and the anticline. Usually oil deposits are found on ground, below the ground surface, where the folding has taken place, and there are over the crest ऐसा यहाँ पे ऑयल डिपॉजिट्स मिल जाते हैं. ठीक है, लार्ज अमाउंट. दिस इज अ वेरी स्मॉल डायग्रामेटिक रिप्रेजेंटेशन, बट इमेजिन अर्थ एज अ लार्ज बॉडी. Okay, just imagine the earth land surface being very large, and this anticline syncline, it not just takes place on the surface of the earth, but also below the ground surface because of the tectonic activities. How it actually takes place, we'll study in a tectonic activities chapter. But अभी के लिए बस इतना ध्यान में रखना, the oil deposits, they are found on the anticline, on the crest of the anticlines. Fine, on the crest of the anticlines. So that was syntaxial bend. Syntaxial, that is different thing, and this is syncline. Okay, that is syncline. Okay. So petroleum, they are occurrences associated with anticlines and fault traps in the rock formations of the tertiary age. In regions of folding, anticlines or dome. Okay, anticlines or domes, it occurs where oil is trapped in the crest of the upfold. Okay, it is in the crest of the upfold. Right, it is trapped in the crest of the upfold. The oil is prevented from rising or sinking by intervening non-porous layers. There are different layers of rock, porous rocks, okay, which has lot many pores present in it. So through these pores, the water or oil, it will completely seep. But if there is presence of non-porous layers, it will remain as it is on the top surface. Okay, so which are such places in India? There is Mumbai High, Gujarat, and Assam are major petroleum production areas in India. Fine. There is Ankleshwar in Gujarat. अंकलेश्वर ठीक है अंकलेश्वर Mumbai High, then Dahej is important. Fine. These are important petroleum and oil wells in India. Mumbai High, Balol, Kalol, Ankleshwar. Keep these things in mind. ठीक है. मैप को 8-10 बार 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 देखो. ठीक है. 8-10 बार ऐसे बार बार, और साल भर में तो कम से कम 20-25 बार तो देख ही लोगे. ठीक है. तो ऐसे बार बार देखने से वो ऑटोमेटिक याद हो जाएगा. ठीक है. वन टाइम, इट इज़ नॉट अ वन टाइम वर्क कि एग्ज़ाम आ रही है एंड आई हैव टू डू मैपिंग फॉर 10 days. इट इज़ नॉट अ वन टाइम वर्क, इट इज़ अ डेली वर्क. एटलीस्ट अलोकेट 15 minutes, एक एक पेज, एक एक स्टेट, 15 minutes every day. Because the thing is that nowadays I see many people लगे पड़े हैं मैपिंग की क्लासेस देखते. ऑनलाइन क्लासेस है मैपिंग की, और घंटों, फॉर आवर्स एंड आवर्स दे आर सिंपली सिटिंग एंड वॉचिंग दोज वीडियोज. आई सिंपली डू नॉट अंडरस्टैंड कि ऐसे कौन मैपिंग करता है यार. someone is explaining them these are the places. Even here also कुछ दिनों में करेंगे वो भी. But I don't want to use any abusive word for all these things what people do. You follow the rule. 15 मिनट हफ्ते में 2 से 3 दिन भी अगर कर रहे हो, then also it is good enough. ठीक है. then also it is good enough. So look every page of your map book. इतनी सी तो बुक है यार. ठीक है. आधे से ज़्यादा बस इंडिया फिजिकल पॉलिटिकल इतना कर लो, वर्ल्ड फिजिकल पॉलिटिकल कर लो, आधे से ज़्यादा चीज़ें तो ऐसे ही समझ में आ जाएगी. ठीक है. Then if you talk about the next important thing is the natural gas. It is also found along with the petroleum deposits, and obviously being gas, whenever oil drill is, whenever for extracting oil, crude oil, a drill is drilling activities is done, along with that we also get the natural gas. Okay. Along with that we also get natural gas, and through different processing machineries we collect the gas into different ways. Fine. The important gas, if you talk about, it is found in the along the east coast, along the Krishna Godavari basin, and on the west coast we have the Mumbai High region. In India we have the gas distribution networks. Okay. If you are looking at the gas pipeline, the green gas pipeline. Fine. Now we have put a target of expanding this gas pipeline to most of the regions in India. The government has launched one scheme called as the, सुना है हाँ, कृष्णा गैस पाइपलाइन, नेशनल गैस पाइपलाइन. ठीक है. गंगा ऊर्जा है, एक प्रोजेक्ट है. ठीक है. नेशनल गैस पाइपलाइन भी है. ठीक है. ओवरऑल गैस पाइपलाइन हमें ये करनी. गंगा ऊर्जा प्रोजेक्ट. ओके. अंडर दैट the government has decided to start gas pipeline in the eastern region of India. Fine. The eastern region of India from Odisha till Bihar and the UP as well as Jharkhand at certain places. And it has already been placed. It is not marked in the map. It has already been laid. The gas pipeline has already been laid, and the supply of gas has started. Providing piped natural gas, it is quite easy. Okay. Providing piped natural gas, it is quite easy because it helps not just in providing gas to the households but also to the industries. If you look at this gas pipeline, if you look at this gas pipeline, you will also find that major industries in India are present along this corridor. Their gas is not just used for uh, cooking in house. It is also, we also have certain thermal power plants which run on gas. Plus we have various fertilizer industries which are using gas as an energy resource. Fine. So if we are providing gas along the eastern region of India, there are a lot of fertilizer industries which have stopped functioning. They can be revived. They can be revived, and thus we need not import lot many fertilizers from outside countries. Fine. So remember about the gas pipeline, gas as an important resource. Okay. The first, it was laid for 1700 kilometer between Hazira, Vijaypur and Jagdishpur cross country gas pipeline. Fine. Constructed by Gas Authority of India Limited, linked Bombay High, Mumbai High and Basin gas field. तो मैप पे ये देख लेना. ठीक है, मुंबई हाई इज हियर, वी हैव जगदीशपुर ओवर हियर. फाइन. So it was passing through which important places? Bijapur and Jagdishpur, Lucknow, Kanpur, and right up till Delhi. So this was the first gas pipeline network established in India. It is almost a 1700 kilometer long gas pipeline. Fine. And we are planning now, till now we have already laid 18,500 kilometer of cross country gas pipeline, and we plan to raise it to 34,000 kilometers. Fine. So we are now making a gas grid. Okay. Grid means grid. hmm? All are connected. A nodal point, you can say. Okay. A nodal point. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, एक जगह होगी, यहाँ से अलग अलग जगह पे डिस्ट्रीब्यूट किया जाएगा. ठीक है. सो एंड दूसरी एक जगह होगी, यहाँ से भी अलग अलग जगह डिस्ट्रीब्यूट किया जाता है, एंड दीज बोथ आर कनेक्टेड. सो ग्रिड टाइप सिस्टम इज फॉर्म्ड. एवरीथिंग इज connected. So if everything is connected, we can manage the supply according to the needs of different areas accordingly. Let's say Mumbai requires large amount of gas because of presence of lot many industries. So accordingly we can manage the quantity available with the help of grid system. Then next is the electricity. As I've said, in India, mostly we get electricity from the thermal power plants via coal. Okay, thermal power plant also utilize petroleum and natural gas. Okay, thermal means heat. Okay, and that heat is also supplied by petroleum and natural gas to drive the turbines to produce thermal power. Thermal power, water hota hai, heat the water, whatever steam is generated, direct that steam on the turbines. Okay, turbine rotates and thus the get the electricity. Okay, then we also get electricity from the hydroelectricity. Okay, dams, Bhakra Nangal dam, we have seen, fast flowing, we utilize the fast flowing water. There are certain major power plants of India. Okay, majority, if you look, they are the thermal power plants. Okay, the majority of the power plants in India are thermal power plant. Nuclear power plant, they are quite limited. Fine. For example, you have Narora in UP, Rawat Bhata in Rajasthan, Kakrapar in Gujarat, then Tarapur in Mumbai region, okay, around Mumbai region, Kaiga, Kalpakkam. Okay, so these are the important. One nuclear power plant which you will often hear in news is the Jaitapur nuclear power plant. सुना है? Jaitapur nuclear power plant. The government is planning to set up a nuclear power plant at the southern end of Maharashtra. Okay, this is going to be the largest nuclear power plant in the world, producing almost around, check the exact figure, but it is around 9,000 megawatt. Okay, largest nuclear power plant in the world, around 9,000 megawatt. But since being a nuclear power plant, there are a lot of protests going on. Okay, because nuclear hazards, we, if you have seen one series Chernobyl, देखी है? चेरनोबिल देखी नहीं देखी? हॉटस्टार पे देख लेना, सबसे पहले जाके देख लेना. ठीक है, और एक रात में सारे एपिसोड खत्म कर देना. अरे ये ऐसी सीरीज देखते जाओ यार. तुम लोग देखते होगे मिर्जापुर मिर्जापुर. सेक्रेड गेम्स, मिर्जापुर, यूजलेस. ठीक है. I was never fond of watching series. Lockdown forced me, and thankfully अच्छी series ही देखी. बाकी कुछ चीज़ें भी देख ली थी लॉकडाउन में, but found quite worthless and waste of time because सीरीज वेब सीरीज देखने की आदत बहुत गंदी आदत है. ठीक है. हाँ. अरे नहीं, कुछ कुछ देखने चाहिए. हाँ, वही वही तो, वही एक एपिसोड स्टार्ट कर दे रात के 9 बजे, सुबह 6 बजे खत्म. ठीक है. बट चेरनोबिल इट्स अ वेरी गुड वेब सीरीज. ठीक है. स्लो है, शांत है, बट देख लेना, क्वाइट इंपॉर्टेंट. सो जस्ट इमेजिन इफ चेरनोबिल, यार अभी नाम तो सुना होगा ना, चेरनोबिल. ठीक है. यूक्रेन का अभी रशिया टुक ओवर. इट इज अ वेरी मेजर डिजास्टर. इट टुक प्लेस इन 1986. ओके, न्यूक्लियर पावर प्लांट. फिर दूसरा न्यूक्लियर डिजास्टर अभी रिसेंटली हुआ था 10 साल पहले, फुकुशिमा न्यूक्लियर पावर प्लांट इन जापान विच वाज डिस्ट्रॉयड बिकॉज ऑफ सुनामी. ठीक है, 2011 में हुआ था. एंड जस्ट इमेजिन, यहाँ पे जैतापुर है. ओके. India is a very unique country. Okay, we have complete reversal of wind taking place. Now, just imagine during southwest monsoon winds are blowing over the entire India, and not just India, over the entire Indian subcontinent. If any mishap happens over here, this will be carried to all the places over India. When Chernobyl happened, the winds carried the nuclear waste particles all over the entire Europe, right up till the northern part of the Europe, Sweden, Finland, सब जगह तक वहाँ radiation हुआ था. So just imagine how fast, because we have seen monsoon winds, they've come at a pace. Okay, they come at move at a very high pace, and they cover the entire Indian region. So the government should actually think of setting up any nuclear power plant. We cannot give 100% assurity that it will be safe. It is hardly impossible. ठीक है, करना है तो यहाँ करो, वहाँ हो जाए. नहीं, ऐसे कहीं पर भी हो तो नहीं बोलना चाहिए. ठीक है. बीट, फिर वो पाकिस्तानी क्यों नो, वाई शुड कॉमन पीपल सफर. ठीक है, वाई शुड कॉमन पीपल सफर अननेसेसरी. So we should move for other sources of energy rather than relying on such large nuclear power plant. Then the non-conventional sources of energy. Uh, just now we saw the nuclear or atomic energy. Then, if you're talking about the solar energy, we have already seen India has set up different targets. Then we have the wind power, the other non-conventional energy source, and major wind farms are present in India. Especially, we have a major wind farm in Tamil Nadu from Nagarkoil to Madurai region. Okay, Nagarkoil to Madurai region, large wind farms are present. Large windmills have been placed. Fine. The other places we find is Kerala, Maharashtra, and Lakshadweep, especially where there is continuous flow of wind. As we have seen, in India, we have continuous flow of wind during reversal and normal days as well. So, in one direction only, the movement of wind is taking place, and thus ultimately it helps in larger, better generation of clean source of energy. So, wind power is a clean source of energy. Mostly, if you will find that it in rain shadow region. Fine. Mostly in rain shadow region where there is dry winds blowing on continuously. At such places, the windmills have been established. Even near my house, in my hometown, we have n number of windmills. There might be almost around 2,000 to 3,000 windmills have been placed. Fine. Then the next non-conventional is the biogas. India, we have seen most of the land that is used in India is used for agricultural activities. Fine. India also is a major producer of n number of agricultural crops. So, generating biogas from the agricultural waste is quite important for India. Okay, because from agricultural waste we not just get the biogas energy. Okay, in fact we can also get bio CNG. Okay, we can also get bio CNG, we also get fertilizers, we also get manures from the uh, use of agricultural waste. So this is of quite importance for India, and we need to tap this resource to a large extent. And one such good initiative case study is being conducted, you can talk about, is in Indore, Madhya Pradesh. Okay, Madhya Pradesh, Indore has been consistently being listed as the cleanest city of India. Okay, under Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, it has been consistently being rated as the cleanest city of India because of the waste segregation and the utilization of the waste that is generated, not just from the city areas, not just from the urban areas, but also from the rural areas in and around it. And they are ensuring, means every single gram of waste, it is being put into some good use for generation of fertilizer, for generation of gas, and pipe compressed natural gas, bio CNG, and everything. Fine. So there is a case study of this. You can just check it out on Google, you can watch a video, or if you want, you can read an article about it. ठीक है, और एल्स न्यूज़पेपर में कभी ना कभी तो आ ही जाएगा. ठीक है, बस याद रखना. So such biogas plants, large pits are constructed, in that all the agricultural waste is dumped into it. And because of anaerobic activities or aerobic activities, anaerobic means in the absence of oxygen, if it is completely covered, if it is completely covered, there will be decomposition taking place without the help of oxygen, called as the anaerobic decomposition. If it is left open and microorganisms are artificially added for faster decomposition, it will produce gas, and that gas is supplied to the house through pipes, and it is quite common all over the rural places in India. Fine. Then next is the tidal energy. Tidal energy, usually what happens in coastal areas, tidal energy is mostly in coastal areas. In coastal areas, there are certain rivers that are draining into the major water bodies, oceans and seas. Okay. Okay. What happens? What happens? We often hear of high tide and low tide in the ocean bodies. Let's say this is the low tide mark. Okay. This is the low tide mark. So the water level is up to this height along the, with respect to the land mass. At some times we get high tide. When we get high tide, we'll study in oceanography. Okay. This water, it penetrates inward. It penetrates up till here during high tide. So as soon as it comes on the land surfaces, okay, it enters the channels. What is done? There are gates constructed over here. यहाँ पे है ना ऐसे gates बनाए जाते हैं. They are lowered down, नीचे और ऊपर उनका movement ऐसे अप एंड डाउन मूवमेंट उनका होता है. सो ड्यूरिंग हाई टाइड व्हाट हैपेंस, एज सून एज द वाटर गेट्स कलेक्टेड ओवर हियर, दीज गेट्स आर रेज्ड. ठीक है, these gates, as soon as water gets collected in this area, these gates are raised. That means they are closed. Water यहाँ पे trap हो गया. Then since it is at a height, so through pipes, this water is channelized on the turbines. Okay, through pipes, this water is channelized on the turbine. The turbine rotates, and as a result, there will be generation of electricity. And this water again is led towards the ocean body. Fine. Again, next time when there is low tide, as soon as the water that is collected over here, it is over, the gates will be lowered, The gates will be lowered, and later on, for next high tide, again the water is trapped and it is released over the turbines. Fine. समझ में आया? इमेजिन कर लेना थोड़ा सा. ठीक है? हाँ? क्या? No, this is not a part-time thing because the volume of water is quite large and there is frequent occurrence of high tide and low tide. We will study in oceanography that at places high tide occurs at a specific time interval of 12 hours. Okay, every place there are diurnal tides. Okay, there are singular tides which are taking place. So certain specific locations are identified where there is frequent occurrence of time and on a specific time interval. So at such places only we will construct such tidal energy plants. ठीक है, ऐसा नहीं कि हर जगह कंस्ट्रक्ट करते बैठे. ठीक है. सो एट क्योंकि वहाँ पे पानी भी ज़्यादा रहना चाहिए. ओके, देर शुड बी सफिशिएंट अमाउंट ऑफ वाटर, देन सफिशिएंट अमाउंट ऑफ वाटर शुड एंटर इन. Okay, then there should be a little bit of elevation of land for construction of the floodgates and storing of that water. So specific location पे, तो ऐसे specific location को से in India the Gulf of Khambhat, ठीक है, the Gulf of Kutch in Gujarat on the western coast and the Gangetic Delta in Sundarban region of West Bengal provide ideal condition for utilizing tidal energy. ठीक है, only these places in India have the potential for generation of tidal energy. Fine. Then next is the geothermal energy. As the term suggests, geo means earth, thermal means heat. Okay, so the heat energy coming from within the interior of the earth. We have seen that in the interior of the earth we have the astrosphere which is in the molten state. As we are moving down towards the center of the earth, the temperature goes on increasing and it increases at a very fast rate. Fine. So at certain places what is happening, there are certain faults, there are certain cracks, you can say. Okay, there are certain faults, there are certain cracks. So from these cracks, hot hot gaseous material is continuously released on the surface of the earth. And if you have gone to Manikaran in Himachal Pradesh, ठीक है, मणिकरण हिमाचल प्रदेश में कभी जाना, गुड प्लेस टू विजिट. ठीक है, उससे पहले कसौल भी आता है. ठीक है, वहाँ पर भी चले जाना. फिर seems you people are not aware which specific places in India are famous for what things. हम्म? ठीक है, ज्योग्राफी पढ़ रहे हो तो बहुत सारी चीज़ें हैं. ठीक है, करंट में भी बहुत पता चलेगा. कसौल को तो मिनी इजराइल भी कहते हैं. ठीक है. ठीक है, lot many Israelis visit. You'll find mostly foreigners over there. Right? So fine. So just ahead of that, there is Manikaran, where there is a hot spring. Okay, there is lot of water present over here. There is lot of water present over here. Okay, a few okay, and because of the heat that is there which is being supplied from below, this water, it continuously evaporates, it continuously forms steam. Okay, it continuously forms steams. अगर ये steam form कर रहा है, so if we are channelizing that steam over the turbines, can we use it for generation of electricity? So we can use it for the generation of electricity. The geothermal energy, the energy, the hot energy with the present within the interior of the earth, which is rising on the surface of the earth through different faults and cracks. From there we get different energy. So one place is the Manikaran in Himachal Pradesh and the other is the Puga Valley in Ladakh. Now, why mostly these hot springs are present in these region? I'll explain you in detail when I'll be teaching you about the interior of the earth. Okay, we people tend to worship anything that is occurring naturally, and we tend to look at it from a very spiritual thing. Okay? But no, there are certain reasons why there are these hot springs present over here. ठीक है, why these hot springs are present over here, and there is nothing spiritual कि नीचे कोई भगवान है वो ये कर रहा है वो कर रहा है, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. ओके, वहां पर जाओगे मणिकरण में सभी भगवानों के मंदिर बना के रखे हैं, पता नहीं कौन. बट ठीक है, विल स्टडी इट फ्रॉम एन एनालिटिकल पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू. राइट, एनालिटिकल पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, रैशनल पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू. ठीक है, रैशनल रहेंगे हम. ठीक है, फेथ को अपनी जगह रखेंगे, एंड what are the actual reason for occurrences we'll study at that time. Just like minerals, we also need to conserve energy. Okay, especially the petroleum coal resources, which are itself the minerals. Fine, so we have to ensure proper utilization of energy. um, Especially, as I've said in the past, that we UPC aspirant are the most we utilize the energy resources and everything on this planet in the most sustainable way. ओके, फिर कॉमन रीडिंग हॉल में बैठेंगे, घर की लाइट्स बंद करके वहाँ पे कॉमन यूटिलाइज कर रहे हैं, तो इट इज़ वी आर सेविंग एनर्जी. फाइन, so don't waste energy unnecessarily. Fine. Then the government is also taking different steps. For example, we have nowadays green building code. Okay, green building code, in which the we ensure that our building doesn't get heated to a large extent. अगर ज़्यादा heat नहीं हो रही है building, then obviously we will require less cooling facilities. Okay, if the temperature inside the house is less, obviously we won't be using ACs and everything. So white wash building. ठीक है, building का color white कर देना, so that the solar rays they get reflected back. Majority of the solar rays get reflected back, and they are not absorbed by the building material. Fine. So there are different steps for energy conservation, plus the equipments that we use, the AC, fridge, everything, they nowadays come with star rating. Okay, the more the higher the star rating, 5 star, the less energy is required, but they come at a price. Okay, costly bhi hote hai. So all these steps. Then for energy conservation, we are also taken uh, extended producer responsibility. Extended producer responsibility means, suppose a company, this XYZ company has produced an AC. Okay, after this AC uh, it gets damaged, or okay, it has exhausted its life, so it is the responsibility of the company to buy back this AC from me at a specific price. Okay, it is the responsibility of the company. Extended producer responsibility means the responsibility of the producer is not just to sell, but also to buy back once the life of that product is over. Okay, so different conservation which you will learn over a period of time in your current affairs and everything. We'll take a fight. We'll take a 15 minutes break, and we'll start with other topics as well today itself. ठीक है? अरे बैठो यार, 15 मिनट का ब्रेक तो ले लो, 20 मिनट का ब्रेक ले लो आज के दिन, बिकॉज वी हैव टू फिनिश, वी आर लैगिंग बिकॉज ऑफ द 2 हॉलीडेज. ठीक है, ले लेते. डेली क्लासेस 3 घंटे की होगी. कल मेरी नहीं होगी क्लास. टुमारो कृष्णा सर विल बी टेकिंग द क्लास. ऐसा है, 1 घंटा. हाँ, इट विल बी वेरी डिफिकल्ट. स्टॉप करना है, 1 सेकेंड बस.